So recently, Mr. MKBHD launched his own app named Panels, which is basically a wallpaper app where the user can download high-quality wallpapers made by artists and artificial intelligence. But the problem is that the membership cost is $50 per year, which is obviously very expensive. So I decided to solve the problem by mixing my very creative brain and my coding skills to recreate something like that, and I named it AuraWall. The concept is very simple, and we will go through the following flowchart in-out video. We will cover how to use the Unsplash API, HTML coding, JavaScript of features like search and download, and we are also going to look at some potential future updates. So let's directly start the video and get ourselves coding. Head over to this website of Unsplash developers where you can log in and get your API key. But to call the URL, we need a special URL that I have provided in the description. Now coming to the app layout, it is fairly simple. We will have our logo at the top, then a search bar, and then we will have two columns, each containing our photos. The reason for creating two different columns we will discuss about in the later part of the video. As always, we're going to use Bootstrap to keep things easy. So this is what our initial code looks like, where everything is fairly simple, except for this part, where we can see we have made two columns where we're going to fill the images separately, as mentioned earlier. Let's understand why exactly are we doing this. The layout will look something like this. If we will use the typical approach of filling each image as a column where it gets adjusted one after the other. Rather, this setup will make two columns, wherein we will insert the images one after the other. It is important to note that the left columns consists of images of odd index, and right contains images of even indices. So obviously, we will import the elements from HTML that we need. And this is the function when the search button is clicked. Display 1 is the left column, and display 2 is the right. Here, we are getting the value of the search. And this is the API URL that is given in the link. And note that you won't find it on the documentation page. As we can see, the query parameter of the URL is a variable that has the value of search. And this is nothing but the normal way of calling an API. Just copy and paste this code from somewhere. And now our main focus will be the part where we will display the results. And just for your ease, this again is the complete code of the search function. Now coming to the result display part, this is the method for it. But for understanding, this is something the results look like in JSON format when you open the URL. There's this result part, inside which we have the URLs list, and there we have lists of various image sizes. The ones we need is the small and large one. Now coming back to coding. Now listen very carefully as this is a technical part. We have run a for loop for our results each index. And note that we have increased the value of I by 2, whereas we usually do it by 1. Hold 1 to that for a minute. Observe the image index that we have accessed. Seems complicated. Let's understand this. If, for example, the value of I is 1, left column will have the image of index 1, which is equal to I, and right should have the image of index 2, which is equal to I plus 1. Now 1 and 2 is over, we have to target 3, which we will get, and incrementing the value of I by 2. Then I becomes 5, and so on. And finally, we get all odd index images on left and even index images on right. Next part is the image downloading function that I have kept on double click for user convenience. So let's create that now. It will take two inputs, the image URL and the file name that has to be downloaded. It is going to create a temporary anchor tag where the hyperlink will be the given image URL. The download would be true and the file name will be the given file name. The freshly created anchor tag will be appended in the document body. The link will be clicked when this function is run, and after all this, it will be deleted. And that was all done with the coding part. can also add some other features, like artist information, display the number of likes, and add a color search feature, all of which is available in the API. That was all for today's video. Thanks for watching, and happy coding.